Moving on to my game of the week and our consensus game of the week, Cowboys versus Eagles. Eagles 28, Cowboys 23. This was a great division rival, back and forth all game. Of course, the Cowboys did what the Cowboys usually do. Dak stepped out of bounds before scoring on a 2-point conversion. That really screwed them up big time. They were down 5 from that point forward, and they kept trying to go for it. They ended up having to go quite a bit of the field, and they got 56 yards roughly from Eagles penalties to help them out to go down the field, try to win it at the last second. But we all know how that happens for the Cowboys. They can never finish it off. Of course, they threw the ball to CeeDee Lamb, got tackled at the 5-yard line, game over. Eagles did not look very good. Jalen Hurts did get wrapped up, banged up in the knee. Looked pretty bad, but as always, Jalen Hurts is a dog and continue to play the game and lead the Eagles to a victory. But they, for some reason, they still just don't look completely right. They're 8-1, but they just don't look right.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a minute because there's a couple things that I wanted to touch on, but let's talk about first that catch. I think it was by one of the tight ends. Doesn't really matter. It was on the goal line. He catches it and his knee goes down, and they say, "Man, like it's such a weird. I don't know what to make of it because catches the ball, he comes down, and he catches the ball while he's on the ground. The knee is down. It's called a catch." But the other portion, like he's able to move the ball over through the catch into the end zone. With the rules being the way they are, in that the ground cannot force a fumble, but also if you catch the ball inbounds, if you don't maintain control even out of bounds, it can end up not being a catch. Should it also not be ruled the same way when we're talking about a player who's already on the ground catching the ball?
It's very weird.
Dude, that was
Uh,
so much to follow, dude.
yeah, I'm honestly lost.
So
Thanks
okay,
a lot.
so he catches the ball while his knee is on the ground,
Yes,
and
but
they're
it's in the
calling
end zone.
him, and Andy's well, once he gains control of the catch, the ball is in the end zone, but they're calling him down the second he touches the football, which is outside the end zone, no touchdown. The new rules lately have been if you catch the ball and you're on the sideline, you have to maintain, or at all, you have to maintain control of the ball through whatever the movement is. So people are able to catch the ball inbounds and go out of bounds, but if they lose control of the ball while they're already out of bounds and made 2 feet inbounds, the refs can come back and say that's not a catch. Should that same rule not be applicable on this play when he's catching the ball on the ground? Should he not be able to move into the end zone while maintaining control and it count as a touchdown?
Dude, I don't know. NFL's changed the rule for catches all the fucking time, so I have no idea what it is now.
Yeah, are we
Uh,
surprised that this is like a topic of conversation? Like,
yeah.
And it's with the
what
Dallas
is a
Cowboys
catch,
again.
guys?
What's a catch?
What's a catch? Thanks, NFL refs, for putting us back to square one.
The main thing I want to touch on this Cowboys Eagles game is everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Dak. It's about to be time. And obviously they don't have a very good head coach in Mike McCarthy, but it's got to be time. Either bring in Cooper Rush or somebody else who can actually manage a game. Somebody who's going to not step out of bounds on a 2-point conversion when the field is wide open. Somebody who's not going to throw the ball 4 yards short of the end zone with no time left on the game. Somebody who's not going to throw it to a contested Michael Gallup or whoever it is out on the sideline and throw an actual contested ball to the best, one of the best receivers, if not the current best receiver in the league, in CeeDee Lamb. Don't go to some no name. You go to your best number one wide receiver if we're talking about contested passes. Like Dak Prescott has the size and the abilities of what a starting quarterback in this league looks like. He's got Zach Wilson decision making.
I'd say it's a little bit better than Zach
I
Wilson.
wouldn't, because he continuously shows us in these moments that he can't handle it. He's constantly been a turnover machine. He constantly makes bad choices when throwing it into coverage. He constantly makes bad choices when the game is on the line. He's going to step out when you have no more downs left, or he's going to run the ball when you have no timeouts and no time left on the clock. These are Zach Wilson type decisions.
I don't know, man. Zach Wilson was able to spike the ball in time. So
Fair enough. So Zach Wilson has better decision making. That's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, you know who he is. You paid him $40 million a year. It's time to move off of Dak if you're Jerry Jones. Now, I want him to stay there because that means the Dallas Cowboys are going to be bad for a long time. Screw those guys. But if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, if you're Jerry Jones, it's time to move off this guy, recoup a little bit of money, and figure out what your next move is.
Recoup a little bit of money. Like, I mean, who's taking Dak off their hands?
Who needs a quarterback? Atlanta?
But if you're gonna talk all this shit about him, and like just because it's Dallas, I mean, who, like, after all this stuff that's happened with Dak in Dallas, who is that desperate that they're gonna take him?
Listen,
who's not in contention to take a top quarterback in the draft, and is seemingly, or they believe themselves to be, a quarterback away. There's a lot of those teams out there.
Carson Wentz is now back in the NFL. Josh McDaniels got 2 head coaching chances. Dak will get a second chance somewhere.
Dak will get a chance somewhere. 100%. I mean, you look at some of these teams, and like Vegas, they most likely will not be in contention for Caleb Williams or Drake May or any of the other couple of top-tier quarterbacks, believed to be top-tier quarterbacks that are coming out of college. They could use a quarterback.
They got AOC, man.
Stop. The Giants could use a quarterback. Detroit's going to have to move off of Jared Goff at some point. Green Bay is not in love with Jordan Love.
So wait, are you suggesting
Jordan Love
Detroit?
Sucks.
Are you suggesting Detroit moves off Jared Goff and gets Dak Prescott?
I'm not suggesting they should do anything. I'm saying these teams are going to be out of contention of a top-tier quarterback, and they're going to be in need of a quarterback. It is up to their front offices whether they should or should not. I don't believe Detroit should, but there are plenty of teams out there that need a quarterback, and Dak could be moving to them because if Jerry Jones decides to make the smart decision.
Jerry won't.
Is Jerry Jones traditionally known for making smart decisions?
No, never. Which is why Dak is going to stay there, and they're going to suck forever.
And it's
Kudos,
gonna rot.
Cowboys.
And Jerry Jones is going to sit there,
stink in Dallas.
He's going to sit there and drink his Johnny Walker Blue Label and be pissed about his team.